Hi there! Long time no see. It's my pleasure to be here again. The topic this time concerns Japanese Buddhism. Now, let's pretend that we visit a temple in Japan and have an audience of sacred Buddhist statues. Probably it might be unique to Japan, but you would notice that there's a wide variety of Buddhist statues. If you have knowledge about what they actually are, even a little, you could enjoy it represents Buddha, which is unique to several sects in Japan, whatever. Otherwise, you would nice Buddha statues. So my attempt today is to help basic understandings of the variety of Buddhas in Japanese Buddhism, as well as some entities typically worshipped in Japanese Buddhism. Meanwhile, I admit that it's definitely challenging to simplify the world of Buddhism in such ways, in that there are many unique sects of it, even in Japan. But anyway, let's give it a shot. First of all, I'd like to clarify one thing for making sure. Japanese Buddhism is commonly regarded as Mahayana Buddhism, in which there are many Buddhas, Bodhisattva, that we call Bosatsu. In addition, there are some gods and beyond. This is obviously different from Theravada Buddhism, I guess, which is spread in areas such as Thailand, Myanmar, and so on. So now, if I dare to categorize millions of Buddhist statues into 4 types, it will be as follows. They are living in different worlds, along with a perspective of Buddhism. One keyword here is reincarnation, which is what we call rinne tensho in Japanese. According to that, all the lives after the death will be reborn again and again in different worlds, endlessly. Japanese Buddhism thinks that the reincarnation can happen among 6 different worlds. As long as there is endless reincarnation, there is always some risks to be reborn in such awful worlds like Jikoku-do, and life is hard even in Ningen-do, in which we are living. So if you do hope to escape from the endless reincarnation, there's one solution offered by Buddhism, which is to believe in Buddhism. Because Nyorai or Bosatsu would help you. Nyorai, Bosatsu, Myo, and Tembu are living in different worlds along with such way of thinking. Now, let's move on to take a look one by one to have an overview. Nyorai in a nutshell represents Buddha. In other words, Nyorai is the entity that has already enlightened. The outward appearance of Nyorai is quite simple compared with other ones. Nyorai had symbolic curly hair, also a large cranial bump on the head, which represents wisdom of enlightened Buddha. This is said to be affected by Gautama Siddhartha, who is commonly known as the founder of Buddhism. And actually, we Japanese call Gautama Siddhartha sometimes Oshaka-sama or Shaka Nyorai. Have you noticed? He is Nyorai in that way, because he got enlightenment. Meanwhile, other than Shaka Nyorai, there are some more Nyorais in Japanese Buddhism. Dainichi Nyorai, Amida Nyorai, Yakushi Nyorai, and so on. They are living in different worlds, respectively, because Buddhism says only one Nyorai can appear in one world. To sum up, Nyorai is describing the Buddha with enlightenment, and while there are some varieties, Nyorai all in all is willing to help people to get out from endless pains from reincarnation. What we call Bosatsu in Japanese language is Bodhisattva in English. Bosatsu is a being who is still in ascetic practice and seeking for enlightenment. Meanwhile, Bosatsu is willing to help people just like Nyorai. Bosatsu try to help people in various ways by using some tools, items, many hands, and many faces, whatever. And in response, there are also many types of Bosatsu. Also, when it comes to its statues, it has a wide variety. But in terms of general difference for the statue's appearance compared with Nyorai, Bosatsu tends to be more graceful and elegant. They sometimes put on gorgeous crown on the head, as well as elegant accessories. It is said that Bodhisattva describes Gautama Siddhartha back in time when he was still in ascetic practice to seek enlightenment. As some of you might know, Gautama Siddhartha was born as a prince of aristocratic family in the Shaka clan. By and large, the statues of Bodhisattva have much more uniqueness compared with the ones of Nyorai, but all in all, they try to help us human beings. Myo-o is an entity which is unique to Mikkyo, that is esoteric Buddhism in English actually. Myo-o is said to be an incarnation of Nyorai. But its appearance is obviously different if we recall the studies of Nyorai. The reason why Myo-o is showing such awful face is that he is trying to force those rejecting Buddhism to believe in Buddhism. And the fire behind the Myo-o is a symbolic feature which burns out polluting thoughts of people and bring profound wisdom. Myo-o also tend to have even weapon on its hand, which is used to defeat evils and disasters. Basically, there are 5 types of Myo-o. This is quintet of Myo-o, so to say, which is called Godai Myo-o. The Myo-o on the center is a very famous one among ordinary Japanese, Fudo Myo-o, which is regarded as the incarnation of Dainichi Nyorai. While Fudo Myo-o is positioned in the center, other 4 Myo-os are positioned around Fudo Myo-o in order to protect each orientation as follows. Kongo Yasha Myo-o for the north, and Gozanze Myo-o for the east, Gundare Myo-o for the south, and lastly, Dai Itoku Myo-o for the west. Today I don't step in details for each, but please keep in mind that Myo-o is forcing those who don't believe in Buddhism to obey Buddhism. Tembu is regarded as a kind of god because they originally came from other religions such as Hinduism. They are living in Tendo, which is the one of the 6 worlds. They are living in relatively comfortable world compared with other 5, but they also have a crucial risk of rebirth. In other words, there is a concept of reincarnation. As for Tembu, please take note of following 2 points. First of all, indeed Tembu is a kind of god, but it is completely different from the gods in Shintoism. It is absolutely confusing that we Japanese sometimes call both of them kami, but it's essentially different concerning the traits of it. And second of all, according to the hierarchy of Buddhism, Tembu is regarded as a god to protect Buddhism. Frankly saying, Tembu is positioned on the lowest of the hierarchy of the Buddhism, followed by Myo-o, Bosatsu, and Nyorai on the top. It is said that there are more than 200 types of Tembu, and each one of them has own uniqueness. Now, let's take a look at a few examples of Tembu. The first one is Bonten, that is originally Brahman from Brahmanism. And another one is Taishakten, that is Indra from Indian mythology. Also, here's Bishamonten, that has been gaining popularity among Japanese. Some samurais eagerly worshipped Bishamonten as a god for victory in battles. And Bishamonten itself actually came from Hinduism in original. Like this, there are many Tembu that originally came from the outside of Buddhism. To sum up, there are many characters in Japanese Buddhism, and it will be easier to understand what they are by referring to the 4 types of them: Nyorai, Bosatsu, Myo-o, and Tembu. Thank you for watching today, and see you next time on the Japanalyst.